Hello, all you people out there in internet land. My name is Britt Kolick. I use they, she pronouns. I'm a professional stage manager. And today I'm going to tell you the 5 things that I do post-show to help me put that show to bed, put a period, and move on. I talk with a lot of actors who sometimes have trouble. I mean, we're going from 0 to 80, basically, in tech, and then it just all stops. And the people you see, the things that you do, the routines you're in, it all just stops suddenly. So here are 5 things that I do to make that transition a little bit easier for me and to help me stay organized, especially when I have to do multiple shows in a row. I just got done doing 4 straight shows in a row, so without doing some of these, it definitely would have been a little bit chaotic. So onto the video. One of the first things that I do when I'm done with the show is take my black binders. I usually have 2 of them, one for rehearsal and one for the prompt book. And I take them from this and I put them into this. This is, oh man, this is just my spring of 23. So these I think are like 4-inch binders. This holds 2 shows. To be fair, the 39 steps is quite a beast. So, but I have these. Yeah, cool, we're good. Just these little tabs up here. They denote if it's a rehearsal binder, if it's a prompt book. These little tabs right here hold supplementary information. As you can see, this one has memes from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Yeah. This is going to become impractical. I have one of these that has everything from, I think, my first year of college up until now. I found them a couple years ago. I found all of these black binders and just thought I need a place to put them all. So they all show what it has: the rehearsal book, rehearsal binder, prompt book, the year, the season, the year, what I did, and then the company that I worked for, and nice little spine cover. So I like it for right now because it's a great way to show my evolution. It's a great way to have like all these little pieces of, like, I have ground plans. I have ground plans in there. I've got just a bunch of just miscellaneous stuff in the little folder, and then of course the whole book. And that's what I like, because when I'm revamping my portfolio, I like to be able to just go back and say, ooh, I did something really cool for 39 steps. Let's go pull that out. Or if I want to use something for a video, it's like, this is how I started doing my prompt, this is how it ended, all of that sort of thing. A lot of stage managers I know are digitizing everything. I don't want to deal with that just yet. Like I said, these are about to become very impractical. I think I have 4 or 5 binders, the big white ones like that. So, but it saves me a ton of money in buying black binders. I was just kept buying black binders, so it's kind of nice if I need to have a script and give it to a board op or a deck chief. So I just pop it in a binder and give it back, and then I just have an abundance of binders. But I love to do that. There's a really good way for me to put that show to bed, for me to just say, you know, look through it, hey, we did it, and then it goes away on a shelf and gets used again sometimes, especially if somebody is doing a show that I've already done and they need something. It's a great reference for me to go back and find things and help people out. So number 2, I input my mileage and what I spent on fuel and or parking. EB, if you'd be so kind as to put some paperwork there. I'll hopefully put this on my website as a template. I really enjoy this for inputting my mileage at the end of the show. I have a finance video that'll hopefully be coming out. I have a little black book that I keep in my car in a Ziploc bag, and in that I track every day the mileage as to how far I've driven, and also how many miles per gallon. My car calculates that for me. It's really simple to figure it out if you want to figure out your daily miles per gallon. And at the end of a show, I take that, actually the whole Ziploc bag, because in that bag I'm going to have fuel receipts, I'm going to have any receipts from parking if I had to pay for parking. I bring that whole bag in and I plug in what I started that day as, mileage wise, what I ended, how many miles I drove that day and the miles per gallon. I just keep going down the list until I get to the end. And then Word and or Excel makes it really simple. You can just type in a formula, it'll tally and combine all of your daily miles, and you'll have your big total for how much you've driven for the entire show. And then you can also average your miles per gallon to figure out through the entire show how many miles per gallon you've averaged. The receipts are a little bit tougher because I don't input those into a computer. I just type in how much I've spent and just add up my receipts. But for fuel, I will also put for parking. I have had to pay for parking, but a lot of times they will give me a discount, so sweet. Always a nice little perk. And just have, and then I'll total all of that up, total like what I spend in fuel, what I spend in parking, and then how many miles I've driven. I might put a total of how much I've spent between gas and parking. Usually it's just gas though. And this is really nice because what I do is I just have like a document for mileage 2024. I'll just keep doing this, and then I print it all out, staple it together, and then all of my receipts, which I'll bind in like a binder clip or rubber band, I'll mark with a post-it note like the 39 steps, March 27th through May 14th, 2023, because I did that last year. And I put it all into a folder, and I take that all to an accountant who works his accountant magic. I talk about this a bit in a finance video. I'll talk about just a smidge here, but a big thing in the industry, especially when you're working in lower tiers of theater where you're getting paid stipends as opposed to like daily, hourly, or weekly rates, is people don't want you to do the math, because when you look at it, it's very disheartening sometimes. But I think it's really important to do the math. I think it's important to track your mileage. Shout out to Maddie Barber, who told me like 2, maybe 3 years, probably 2 years ago, to start tracking my mileage. It's been a huge help. You see how much you're putting in, like the hours, the mileage, the gas. It's really important. It's important for, I think, individuals to realize how much they are putting into a show. And it's also important when negotiating contracts. Maybe you want to negotiate a little bit more. Maybe you want to negotiate about and talk about your car mileage, your gas, all that sort of thing. And it's also important for tax time. So I do that. That's a really definite, finite way for me to actually, like, I'm plugging in numbers, plugging and chugging, getting that done. So number 3, cleaning. And I clean places you might not expect. I affectionately call my car Arkham. Everyone's like, why? Because it is, for better or worse, my asylum during a show. It is the place that I eat. I have taken naps in my car. It is where I've had many a breakdown. It's where I've had the emotional phone calls. I do a lot in my car. I drive a ton. Last time I averaged, I drive like 60 miles round trip to go do a show sometimes per day. So at the end of that show, you know, there's pop that's been spilled, maybe water, there's crumbs from dinners I've had, there's wrappers for candy or fast food or whatever. So I like to go in. I have a little like pet vacuum that I bought in college. I didn't have a pet, I just needed a small vacuum. Take that in there. I brush everything out. I like Clorox, Lysol. What's really nice is I put a new air freshener in every time, so my car gets to smell good. But I wipe everything down, things get dusty. As I said, I take my little Ziploc bag full of my black book and my receipts, bring that inside. That gets rid of a ton, actually. The black book always goes back in just in case, but now I have all this paperwork that's gone. I'll replenish I think anyone who eats a lot in their car has this. You either have car utensils or you're like me, and I have a huge Ziploc bag full of plastic silverware, full of like little salt and pepper packets, and a bunch of napkins from a bunch of different places. So I'll just make sure that that's replenished, up to date, nothing spilled in that. And I keep it a big gallon Ziploc bag, like in my glove compartment, so it doesn't get ruined. I keep blankets in my car. I'm gonna do a whole video about stuff in my car that just makes sense. That'll be up soon. I'm gonna keep blankets in my car. Those come out, they get washed. I check, my trunk and everything, make sure everything's good to go. If it's not winter, I'll usually wash my car as well, just to, you know, clean inside and out. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. So, but sometimes I'll wash it by hand if I have the time. But the interior is what's important. I get that clean, and it's really great because I'll step out and go do other things. When I go back in to drive, it's like, ooh, clean car smell. It's nice. It makes me feel good. I think it keeps my car looking good. And on that same note, I come clean, like the 3 places in my house that I inhabit, my bedroom, my bathroom, and my office. The office stays clean for all of 30 seconds, and then there's crap everywhere again. But there's usually like a lot of trash, maybe a lot of Amazon boxes. Take all that stuff out, vacuum, get that feeling right. I go clean my bathroom as well. If you've ever done a tech week, you know that things fall by the wayside, and you're like, I'm coming home, I'm showering, I'm going to bed, I'm getting up, I'm getting back after it. So to clean the bathroom, to get all of that stuff done, to wash my towels, wash my bed sheets. I usually have a ton of laundry that needs to get done, especially because when you're in tech, much like actors wear the same costumes every day, I'm wearing the same clothes basically every day, or similar clothes. I have several pairs of the same black pants and black shirts, so those will get washed as needed, but I'm not doing big things of laundry, so I get all of that done. It makes the space feel human. It makes this space sort of, I think, reset and get ready for the next thing. And I think I get a little bit of anxiety in it when spaces like that, because now I'll have time. If I don't have time, I just sort of deal with it, but when I have time to clean, I'm like, I should be doing this, it's clean. So just a nice general clean of the spaces that I use a lot and my car. I think that's really important. People overlook the car. You should be cleaning your car out. 4, I see the homies. I am very fortunate. I do have several friends who are in my profession and in this industry and understand. I've also been very fortunate that my friends who do not work in this industry, who have standard 9-to-5s, they understand what I do, and they're very supportive, and I love that about them. But it does make, it's hard. A lot of my friends are in different states. One of them's in a completely different country right now. So you get in what you can. You get in your text, your FaceTimes, your phone calls. So when I don't have a show and I do have a chunk of time, I love hitting up the homies. Hey, let's grab dinner. Let's grab a drink. I remember this time last year, I was actually seeing 2 of my friends in Cleveland. Cut to this year, we just went to one of their weddings. Like, it's sort of mind-blowing what happens in a year. Because a year ago we were talking about venues, and now we're at the venue they picked where they're saying I do. But I think that that's really important. If I don't get to see them, I'll like hit them up, be like, hey, just like checking in. It's important to check on your homies. It's important. I think some people don't talk about the post-college, when you're either making new friends or you're trying to retain and keep your friendships going. I've been very fortunate. I think the people that have stuck around are very worthwhile. I love them. I love all my people, as I call them, my homies, my dudes. So, but it's important to, check in on the homies. Hey, how you doing? Can we get together? What's your schedule look like? Hey, I usually am free a ton when I'm only working one job. So it's like, hey, can I come up on a weekend? Can we do this? Can we do that? I just saw a buddy. It's taken us 2 years for our schedules to align, but you just keep working, keep at it. So, but I love seeing them. It's really refreshing for me, especially if I'm on a production that has been particularly unkind, to go and see my friends, see my people, see how they're doing too. I love seeing how they're doing, how their relationships are, how their work's going. My friends are in all sort of different fields, from nursing to teaching to, I have one who works in HR. I have engineers, so it's fun to see how the other half lives, and to make sure that I'm supporting and being as uplifting to them as they are to me. So shout out to the homies. So the last thing that I try to do is go have a meal and remind myself that, yes, I'm a stage manager, and yes, I have a job and I'm very good at that job. I love what I do. I love the people I do it with, but I'm also a human. I'm a human, and I can go and have a meal and not have it interrupted by text messages, phone calls, emails. I can go sit and just chill and be a human and be an adult for all intents and purposes. So those are the 5 things that I like to do post-show. I feel that they help me transition from full-on stage manager mode. They help me pump the brakes a little bit and ease myself out of it. Like I said, we're going 0 to 90 and then it just stops. So these little things like having paperwork for my mileage, by putting the prompt book and the rehearsal binder to bed, so to speak, by cleaning up, I slowly transition out of stage manager into like normal-ish human, and that's what works for me. Hopefully some of these work for Yins if you're looking for a way to sort of help curve that post-show depression, depressive espresso as I like to call it. So hopefully these help. Feel free to use them. As I said, template for the mileage is going to be down below in the bio. I highly recommend tracking your mileage, highly recommend cleaning your car, and as always, I highly recommend that you give some grace and drink some water. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.